So the thing about supercars is sometimes they get traffic and they're just going at like 30, 40 kilometers an hour and you can't tell how far they can really go. And then the traffic just clears. And then the acceleration and the G-force kicks in and they go into turbocharged, high-octane, 7th gear. And that's exactly what RCB did. And zoom, that beautiful sound comes. And that sound today was the ball of the bat of Moeen Ali and Virat Kohli. It sounded as sweet as a Bugatti engine when it's going at 160. And they have done a lot better than 160 because they've gone to 213 for 4 at the end of 20 overs, have RCB. Remember, they were 70 for 2 at the end of 10 overs. And what were they? 122 at the end of 15. It's just phenomenal batting by both Moeen and Virat. Virat, of course, getting 100. Hello and welcome to MPL Presents Cricket Buzz Live. So many great adjectives to use, and we're happy that we have Mr. Harsha Bhogle and Ajay Jadeja here to talk about that. Gentlemen, Moeen Ali, Virat Kohli, 7 minutes, go.
He had the best break of his life. He didn't have to do the Cricket Buzz combox at 70 after 10 overs.
I got to tell you, we have just got it. Oh, you know, we like to, we are people who admit when we go wrong. Cut to a close-up of my face. Just do it now. Because this is the face of somebody who got it wrong. At the end of 10 overs, at 70 for 2, we said there was nothing redeeming about RCB's batting in that first 10 overs. And boy, there was nothing wrong about their batting in the back 10. Because, Ajay, it was phenomenal.
Sorry, Ajay will tell. But cut to Gaurav Kapoor, cut to Dinesh Karthik, cut to Kuldeep Yadav, cut to Prasidh Krishna. So don't worry, you're not alone.
We can't, I don't think we can cut to Kuldeep Yadav's, because I think he called an Uber as soon as the 20th finished. I think he's left the ground, because after that effort and the misfielding at the end, a few of those, my God, if a bad day had a name, it would be Kuldeep Yadav today.
Yeah, he's had one of the worst days that he's had, but that's part of the sport. You will have good days and you will have bad days. That's why I always look at a batsman on his best good day and a batsman on his bowler on his worst day.
Yeah.
Because on the worst day, the bowler still has to bowl his overs, whereas a batsman gets out early and he's out. So his worst day is only a score. Whereas a bowler keeps getting thrashed and thrashed and thrashed.
But he could have not kept getting thrashed because DK didn't really have to go to him for the fourth. He had his overs.
Couldn't have gone, didn't go in for the third.
Exactly. At his third, when he went for the third, I was a little surprised. When he went for the fourth, I was baffled.
2 overs 22 is okay, it happens. But 2 overs 22 without seeming like troubling anybody, he was just coming in. So I thought he'd go 2 overs Piyush and 2 overs Kuldeep and try and finish with all the others because he got a bonus from Andre Russell.
Yeah.
Who bowled 4 excellent overs. But I guess this is what happens with captain. You've been captain. Sometimes you take a call.
Yeah, I mean, they're calls you make and they can go right and they can go wrong. And I think what went wrong is what? I mean, I can't put it any better than the words that you put in that car and all that. Is that the traffic in this innings, if there was any, was going to be with the seamers. When the seamers were still seaming around. And at the start, they took, their time. And I was one of those who thought, Akashdeep Nath coming at that stage, why would you want to do it? But, because they had that power and, they got that freeway at the end, they could get there. And they still haven't used Carlson. So it's, on a good day, you don't need all players.
Yeah.
Good day, batsman, you only need 2, 3. That's more than enough.
Yeah,
but bowlers, you need all.
Since you mentioned traffic jam, I think they were stuck in the traffic jam.
Yeah.
Bangalore. Like all of Bangalore is always stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
They were stuck in the traffic jam. Then a message went through saying, Kohli saab ki gaadi jam mein kaise phasi?
Yeah.
And then all the traffic was moved and RCB just went along.
I think
Moeen Ali, then Virat Kohli.
I think the person who moved that traffic was Moeen Ali. I think Moeen Ali was the traffic cop there who said, whoa, hang on 1 second. Just move everybody out of the way. We want to go through.
66 of 28. I mean,
phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean,
and 27, by the way, that Kuldeep over we're talking about, his fourth over, he took him for 27 runs.
Well, we see this with, Calcutta most often, but you see only Russell doing it from one end. What has happened today is, it's the last 5 overs again, you got 100. But it's not just one guy. Here what happened once that Moeen Ali took off, and then Virat Kohli joined in that party. And that's when it is really dangerous for a bowler. Because you have no end to survive. Yeah. And then you just get stuck. And if you have wickets in hand, flat wicket, and they just kept going. And probably, the way they approached it, at the end, if they had missed a couple of balls, 2 people have got out, then you would get into trouble. I still feel if you have a car like that, you're not supposed to use it in the traffic, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to imagine that this is a flattish wicket, and which it is. The whole way was a freeway, except a couple of overs from Seaman.
Good point.
So maybe you haven't, we sit here and look at it from a point of view. Have they optimized those 120 balls? It's been fabulous batting. Virat Kohli is the best. Everybody's, finished with the adjectives. I don't even have many to use. So his batting, we know what he does, and when he does, this is what he does. So the only difference today is what? He started in a few innings, but never finished the innings.
Yeah.
Today he was there till the end, and everybody else around him also played the role. But I still look at that first 8, 7, 9 overs and say, look, if this is a wicket that is easy to score, can Kolkata, use that better? And because they won't get 100 of the last 5. I mean, you can with Russell, but you don't expect that. But it's still not too far. Maybe we went wrong.
Just send your big hitters. You're saying that if Virat was planning to bat anyway, you've got Stoinis, Stoinis was great towards the end, little bit that you saw.
I'm saying what we saw.
He didn't get the deliveries and Klaasen never came out.
I'm saying what we saw is phenomenal at the end. But at the start of the game, which flat wickets like this, 200 is a par score, 210, 215. So I'm looking from Kolkata's point of view now and thinking, look, because they've got to go and score. And they've done it in Bangalore. They got 206 or 208 last time.
That 100-run power play.
After such phenomenal batting that we've seen, the score is only 213.
Oh, that is actually a good point. We look at it and you go 213.
I'm saying from
that's a good point because you've got 90 odd from the last 5. But that we keep coming back to that traffic jam. You have hitters are no good if they're in the dugout because you can't really hit the ball. When you're in the dugout, you can only hit it when you're in the center to the dugout. So maybe they're going to clear the traffic.
When you're chasing, the same score when you're chasing.
Fair enough.
You suddenly got the target in front of you. So I wonder if it's possible for them to say we're batting first. The target hai nahi. We're batting first.
But doesn't KKR just bat like that anyway? I feel even when they're chasing, they seem to bat like that, like we're batting first.
Yeah.
They do, right? I mean, they do. You've got Narayan and Lin. You've got Narayan and Lin on the top. Today they're thinking, boss, no one's expecting us to get it anyway. Come on, let's go.
Look, they've got 106 overs. I think, last year.
Yeah.
So in the first power play, they almost got 100.
Yeah.
So if they get to 110 overs with 1 or 2 wickets down,
they win the game.
Then they win the game. So it's not a game that's been taken away.
This is amazing. He's got a great point. Listen, it could sound that we're being overcritical of a brilliant batting effort. We're not. All we're trying to say is there are 2 batting efforts in that RCB 20 overs. There was the first 10 batting effort and the second 10 batting effort. The second 10 batting effort, sublime, 5 gold stars, teachers, merit, commendation, everything you get. The first 10 was saying, oh, could be, but that's fine. You don't have to be just overtly congratulatory about everything. When you see something, we're going to call that out. Let's see the bowling effort of KKR. Well, the bowling effort of the first 10 again was very good and the last 10 was not. But here's the bowling figures of them. And there are a few concerns with, there you go, with Kuldeep Yadav. He's given 59 when he's got, this is just his 4th wicket, by the way, in the IPL. And he hasn't really got that 4th wicket.
No, he got it off the last ball of his 4th over through a little miss hit by Moeen Ali when it looked like he's going to go for 33.
Yeah.
And just sort of, you got a little miss hit. I'm more worried at the fact that he's not causing the batsman to think, should I play forward, should I play back? He's not causing any doubts in the batsman's mind.
Yeah, continuously, as you can see.
He's never been a bowler who gets nip off the track. He's got to do things in the air and deceive them, either leg break or either the Chinaman or wronger. He's not doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is a bit of worry.
4 wickets in 9 games. The wickets, the pitches in England, perhaps in the middle overs at least, a little bit like how they'll be like Eden Gardens.
But they won't go after him like this.
They won't?
They won't go after him like this now.
Well, what if they get 17-10 overs? That's easy.
Yeah. They won't go, but they won't go after him.
Hey, listen, I just like to tickle them every now and then and see what they come out with.
That's why we make him sit far away.
Yeah, that's right.
Dur ho ja meri nazron se.
Tomorrow I'm going to get a poking stick. I'm going to go like that. I'm going to, but what about this? What about, come on, cut to me, show my poking stick. Come to me, like this. Like,
Pucho.
So let's look at the KKR batting lineup. Well, you know it, sorry.
There was a time when I was just in jest saying, you know what, for Virat to make up this, he's got to get 100, right?
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, He got a top edge early on. Poor Prasidh Krishna. I looked at Prasidh Krishna's first 3 overs and I said, another 8 with 3 for 20.
Yeah.
He got a top edge, he got an inside edge just past the stump, he got all that. Another day, Virat Kohli had 2 top edges that would have been caught and RCB would have been 130 all out.
Yeah.
100, whatever.
You could tell it was
little things that the game changes on. But the big players, when they get those breaks, they go and make the opposition count.
Yeah, he capitalized.
But there was something about Virat today. He was...
He's trying to pump himself up.
Yeah, he was...
Listen, sir, you have to understand about us Punjabis. As Punjabis, we sometimes have to abuse ourselves to get the best out of ourselves. He spent enough time in North India to tell you that.
Well, he keeps us guessing. I mean, not just today. Look at it. He comes to the toss. What was he talking about? Oh, yeah, we should have fun.
Yeah.
And then what you saw when he was batting was all pumped up.
Yeah.
So he's a man.
Maybe that's his definition of fun.
It could be. I mean, maybe he enjoys it. That's why he probably does it. And everybody looks at it differently. But one thing is special about this man, that, every time you throw a question to him, or, whether it's a situation in a game, or whether he'll score runs in England, whether he'll score runs in Australia, I think he likes challenges. Maybe that's why he's that pumped up thing. Because there are certain players who just do the same thing what he's done. And what he's done today is not for the first time. He's done this many a time.
And see the acceleration. I want to see what the second 50 is coming. The first 50 came in 40 balls.
So second is 18.
Second is 18. The second 50 is effectively...
Assuming the first, you're sure the first was 40 balls, right?
Yes, the first was 40 balls. It was 40 or 41. I think one of them.
So here's something for you.
Yeah.
When we measure the fastest 50s,
we should measure the second.
Why do we only measure the first?
We should measure the second.
One of the second.
Well. Because that would make it the quickest. Because Rishabh was 18, right? Rishabh against Mumbai Indians, Rishabh Pant.
So now with this
ball
carnage, can you imagine what KL Rahul's 50 or 14 must have been?
Wow.
Or didn't UB get a 50 of 12 balls?
Yes.
In the 2007 World T20?
The 6 sixes one.
15, 12 balls. Can you imagine what that must look like?
We do. We remember the 6 sixes. Yeah. Stuart Broad remembers.
Yeah.
He remembers what that looks like. Let's look at the KKR batting real quick. See, they've got a long, deep batting. This batting lineup has got 200 runs more than a few times, right? This is Eden Gardens, the batting there. Ajay had a really good point. He said that this batting is capable of 200, but are they capable of it after the beating that they've just received in the last 5-7 overs? Because your morale takes a beating. That's what you were. That point that you made, I think, was solid.
Yeah, I think that's the only difference in this game. It's not the score, it's not the wicket. Yes, you have Dale Steyn and they have seamers, so it will probably be first 6 overs, the way I see the game. But if Calcutta doesn't get to this total, it'll be because, they've been beaten in the last 5 overs mentally. Because at the score, I'm saying, how many games in Calcutta are, the difference is 10-15 runs at this stage.
Yeah.
But the impact that all of us also had when we saw it, or people who watched it at home, would be that impact. So that if that impact is taken out in that dressing room, in a Knight Rider dressing room, and explained, or, when the minds get calm, and how you approach it is what really matters. Because it is not beyond their reach. Yes, they will have to do it differently. They have Russell, but if they want to do 500 in last 5, then you are taking 50-50 chance. But 70, 80, 90, 70 is average, 90 is above average, 100 if you get lucky for one.
Yeah.
So if you get from 100 for one, 9 out of 10 times you'll win this game. So if they just have to go about doing the business, they always get 70, 80, 90 anyway. So what's the big deal, 213? Don't look at what Virat has done to you. Don't look at what Moeen has done to you. Look at what you can do.
Exactly. I'm thinking, what are they talking in the change room just now? Are they thinking they scored par, or they're 10 over par? Is that what they're thinking? That's one. The second is, how many do they leave for Russell? When does Russell come in at 10th over, 11th over? When does he come in? That's the...
Again, sir, instinct, sir.
No, I'm just thinking, correct.
Play this instinctively, and if you can do it, KKR possibly. And if KKR does get a 214, oh my God, do we have a game on our hands? MPL Super Couch this time was nobody's.
If that happens, I'm only worried about Ajit. फिर तो आज गाड़ी नहीं साइकिल में ही जाएगा तू.
Yeah, that's right. Today then I'll have to walk home. Because as you know, our in-house RCB fan Ajit has already started popping bottles of zero alcohol champagne because he doesn't drink. That's pretty much